Boom. And we are live once again. Another episode of the Premiere Podcast for Xbox. Feels good to be back once again. Another week. We got the squad up in here as usual, the Holy Trinity, and our newest member to the Tick organization, my man Dorian from the DX Mansion. I got some announcements to make and things like that for some big things that Tick Network is going to be doing. We'll get to that shortly, as well as a few topics that we want to hit. Cyberpunk 2077, finally getting some news on that, which is awesome. CrackDown. For some apparent reason, after this latest CrackDown video, everybody is ready to slit their wrist. And of course, some topics on enhanced Xbox games. There are 3 options that comes with an Xbox game, and it'll kind of let you know. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not, so we'll definitely discuss that. And of course, the latest with Xbox and the latest updates and things like that, and we'll touch on the small things. So you guys go ahead, have a seat. We will get the show started within the next 30 to 40 seconds, and hope you guys enjoy tonight's show. So give me 1 minute.
Quiet.
You can say something.
It's like, what's going on? All right, man. It's Rainbow Six, man. We were just talking about Rainbow Six on the way here. Oh my god, there are a bunch of new people playing Rainbow Six Siege all of a sudden. Just amazing.
Yeah, I've been revisiting it myself, just because. Battlefield 1 hasn't been able to hold my attention for very much. So I've been jumping back in Rainbow Six. My son has been playing it super heavy. I think he's at like a level 88 or 89 now. He's trying to get to 100.
Man, that's awesome. Oh.
Yeah, so that's what we've been on, man. And I feel like it's timeless, man. You can just get in there, play a couple matches.
Oh yeah. And like what's so funny about it too is that like Ubisoft totally did not expect this to last as long as it did. You can tell based on like right now they're doing Operation Health, and all they're doing is just fixing all the stuff that should have been done a while ago. Like the matchmaking is now like lightning quick, and all this other stuff, man. It's beautiful.
All right. So yeah, let's get ready, man. Let's get started. I am back and ready to rock and roll. We got 13 people in here. The people are starting to walk into the theater, if you will.
They didn't watch the previews.
Big announcements were made. No, they didn't watch the previews. They didn't like our previews. They wanted some superhero mess. We didn't have that today. All right. So here we go, man. Welcome to the Inner Circle, and let's get this party started. Welcome to the Inner Circle Podcast, the premier podcast for Xbox One. I'm your host, KRXKL, with B Money 101.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
And Anchorman V.
Hey, everybody. How you guys doing tonight?
And we are your Inner Circle team. Tonight, we have with us our newest Team Network member, legal felon, also known as Dorian, head of the DX Mansion, I guess you could say one of the dopest Xbox groups on Facebook. What's going on, Dorian? How's everything?
Salutations, everybody out there.
So look, man, first and foremost, let's talk a little bit about some of the things that happened in Xbox, and then we'll go to our announcement and go through the rest of the show. So today, Major Nelson came out. He dropped some awesome BC games. Which surprisingly for me, I didn't even realize I actually had the game until I started going through my install, and boom, guess what I see? Super Street Fighter 4. immediately started downloading that game. That's pretty dope. You guys got Super Street Fighter?
Yes. Nope. Made my day.
I think I have it. I have to double check, man. I know I probably had it on disc. I don't know if I had it digital.
Right.
Yeah, because for the 360, it should automatically be in there just sitting waiting for you to install it.
It's crazy. Did you get any matches in D?
No, I actually took a nap, man, for this. I got home. I told my son, man, to wake me up when it got to 100%. And he woke me up, and it was like 9:50. That's when I sent a text message to you.
Gotcha. Yeah, I got a few matches in, man. It felt good. It looks pretty good. It's all upscaled or whatever from whatever it was with like 720p back in the day or something like that. So, I mean, it looks good, man. The controls feel nice, especially on the Xbox One controller compared to the 360 controller. I know a lot of people say they like the 360 controller over the Xbox One controller, but I've gotten so comfortable with this Xbox One controller, man, that I prefer it over the 360 controller now.
What are they talking about?
Especially with the extended bumpers. Because on the 360 controller, the bumpers, they're short. They don't come all the way down the side like the Xbox One controller does. So you don't even have to wrap your whole finger around the controller if you want. You can just leave them on the edges and just click the button and it works too. So that's pretty dope in itself.
What about the battery pack on the 360? Like where your fingers rest around the controllers. Like you had this huge big battery pack on the 360 controller. Like I'm used to actually being able to touch my other fingers. Like, oh,
yeah. I mean, what's funny about that is I don't know, man. My hands always wrap around the actual controller itself, so I never really noticed that battery pack. Like my hands never were straight out behind the controller, but what I do like is that the biggest difference is the weight, because you don't have that big battery pack or those stack of batteries hanging out of the controller, which kind of you can feel that weight in the middle. Whereas everything is just in the controller itself, it kind of, I won't say it lightens the load, but it kind of does lighten the load because you just don't have an extra piece that's, I guess you could say, kind of like a counterweight that kind of supposed to balance it, but it really doesn't balance it, I don't know, man. I just prefer the Xbox One controller to it. Just especially for fighting games. 360 was terrible for fighting games, in my opinion.
Yeah.
PlayStation controller. That's for fighters. Yeah. That's the one thing where it's like, is for fighters. That's it.
Right. Absolutely. And we also got an update today on the Xbox One. I'm about to say the Xbox One X. I don't have that yet. That's how anxious I am to get this new console. I'm about to say the Xbox One X. I don't have that yet. The Xbox One S. We got the new update, which if you're in the alpha program or the preview program, which you want to call it, you probably already had it. But we have custom gamer picks, right, Anchor? What else we got?
Custom gamer picks, co-streaming for Mixer, native to the console. In order to understand what that means, is back whenever you're doing a Mixer, if you wanted to co-stream or basically just kind of have like two streams going on at the same time on a single stream, you had to like go to the internet website, and then you had to click on go to their thing, and then request for them to join on their PC, and then they had to do it, and then you basically got the link, they got approved, and then it showed up on your end, and it was just way too complicated. Now you can just do it through your Xbox natively. You just put a little thing and say fight to co-stream, pops up, done, in and out, perfect.
Yeah, Anchor, man, you're not lying about that, man. I actually done it. Shout out to my man Javon Bell. He's the first one to do that with me, man. It's real nice, and I recommend people to try that feature out, man. It's really something, man.
Yeah, man, Microsoft stepping their game up. I mean, all around. I mean, the console is, it just has the features for gamers. For all the slack that it gets for not having games, the console literally is built for gaming. Whether it's console, whether it's LAN, I won't say LAN, but whether it's like couch co-op gaming, whether it's online gaming, whether it's streaming by yourself, whether it's streaming in a group, it's just truly one of the best consoles out there. Not to mention, especially if you're getting into things like raids, MMOs, you want to have big parties, you want to have big groups. Like when I play Ark, sometimes 8 people in a party is not enough. And having those 4 extra people is huge, especially when you're trying to communicate. So 12 people parties is just big, man. And then on top of that, I think at one point you played with up to like, I don't know how many people was it. Wasn't it like 16 controllers on one system or something like that? I have to look that up.
I've never even attempted or thought of such a thing.
No, that's serious because I remember.
Get your own TV.
I remember
8, but I don't know about 16. But I know for sure 8.
Yeah, maybe it was 8. Maybe I'm definitely exaggerating on that. Maybe it was 8. I felt like there was like a lot of controllers you can hook up to this damn thing. It was insane. Like you can have a multitude of people playing one particular game, which was insane to me. I'm like, how do you do that on one screen? That didn't make sense. Right. But yeah, man. So that is okay. So 8 controllers it is. So that was that's just one of the features, man. And it's just like, listen, Xbox really is the console for gamers. Then you turn around, you got a nice little library. Third-party games has always been pretty good on the console. You got backwards compatibility. You got both OG compatibility now, plus 360. Now you got the big boy dropping at the end of the year, the most powerful console in the world, and that is going to be a factual statement. The most powerful console in the world dropping this November, and then on top of that, what's really cool is all of the games running on it is going to be improved, especially your old library. Plus, they have this thing with enhanced games, which we'll get into a little bit later, and it's going to be pretty dope, man. So I'm excited to see what Microsoft has going forward. They're going to have a crazy 2018. I'm excited about that as well. But they just continue to deliver, especially when it comes to updates and features and stuff like that. And listen, as a PS4 Pro console owner, I'm always looking for some cool feature or update with PlayStation, man, and it's just few and far in between. I'm not to say that's a bad thing, but normally if I see, hey, there's a new update and I go to read it, it's not what I expected it to be. It's mostly some type of stability update or some type of update to maintain something or fix something or whatever it is. So, Microsoft, man, their software engineers have been killing the game. So my hat goes off to them. And as they continue to produce high quality features for the Xbox community. Mm-hmm. So let's jump into these hardcore topics, man. CrackDown 3. Recently, we had 17 minutes of CrackDown 3 footage. And CrackDown 3, in my opinion, getting the chance to play it at E3, I said this when I came back. I said this on a few Super Pod shots, a few individual shows, that if you love the first CrackDown, be mind blown by CrackDown 3. It's nothing like CrackDown 2. And meaning that it's not those mutated characters running around or anything like that. It really tried to get back to its roots. But if you're looking for something drastically different, which is initially what I really wanted, you're not going to get it. That's not what CrackDown is going to be. I was hoping that CrackDown would be in the limelight of a Grand Theft Auto, where you got missions, you had directions you had to go to, you were able to use your abilities and powers. It's not so much like that. At least from what I played. Now, I was playing the free roam portion. There was no campaign portion to it that was giving me directions. I'm not saying it's not in there, but they recently put out a new video, 17 minutes of footage of a person playing free roam, and it's just bananas. Explosions, jumps, gravity guns, cars being sucked into a black hole. It's insane. It looks crazy. But the one thing that I keep seeing every time I go to another news website is I'm concerned about CrackDown 3. All I can say is why? Why all of a sudden are people concerned about CrackDown 3? And I feel like CrackDown looks like a 360 game or a PS2 game are like 15-year-old children who don't remember what CrackDown 1 and CrackDown 2 look like. People are complaining about this game being cell shaded or looking a certain type of way, not realizing the particle effects is insane. When the explosions go off, the smoke looks crazy, the fire looks crazy. On top of that, new abilities for each character, The traversal looks way better, and it's much cleaner, and the draw distance is much nicer. I don't even think people recognize half the things that I just said about that particular game. And that's just free roam. That's not campaign. They haven't even shown off multiplayer yet, and people still complaining, oh my God, where's all the destruction? There's no destruction in this game. They never said it was going to be destruction in the campaign. All the destruction was going to be in multiplayer because it's online only. In order to do cloud compute, you have to be online. And everyone cries about having an online only game all the time. So could you imagine them making the campaign an online only game? People would lose their minds. You would lose your mind, let alone if you have the ability to destroy everything in the campaign, you can easily just destroy a building and take out the boss before the game even starts.
Man, you killed it, bro.
I just find it idiotic that people are not giving this game a chance or an opportunity and don't see the fun in it. I think, don't get me wrong, I love serious games. I do, as an RPG action adventure guy, but at the same time, a game like this is fun. You get 3 other friends in a game like that when you guys are just causing mayhem, jumping around, throwing cars, buses, rocket launchers, gravity guns. It's going to be insane. Then you throw 5-on-5 because it's supposed to be 10 players in multiplayer. You throw 5-on-5, I think, or 10-on-10, something like that. It's like a crazy number, like 10-on-10 or something like that. In multiplayer with full-blown destruction of everything in the game, do you understand the type of mayhem and chaos? I can see the highlights on YouTube left and right. It's insane. What is your guys' thoughts on this?
I refuse to watch any gameplay.
Somebody fire Anchor.
No, as a general rule, when it's come to this generation of stuff, I do not watch any video that is over 2 minutes long. When it comes to gameplay, I don't want to be spoiled. I want to be surprised.
I got it. I
can't do it.
I got him. You know, man, you killed it, man. I think that's what it was all about, man. People were reading those articles, you know, coming to Anchorman's aid. They read those articles, they're letting those articles hype them up, and then they're expecting something. And I think Microsoft knew that. And so they didn't want to go on what everybody was expecting, because you nailed it. Corey, you nailed it when you said everybody was tripping off of where's the destruction at, because that's the selling point. The online feature of this game is the selling point. Is that baby. That's where that technology is coming out. That's where all that hating of the cloud and everything is about to be revealed in this game. And so why would they want to do that so early off the hype of articles? I think it's better to just let people go back to the old way of doing things, find out for yourself, and then be blown away because you had no hype around it. We said it. We talked about it. They didn't know. They didn't say anything about the campaign. You was right. They didn't say, if people were paying attention, they specifically said this destruction mode playset will be on the online multiplayer. If people were paying attention, but of course, you always either get the ones that are paying attention and act like they didn't pay attention, so they want to throw shade on it, or those who didn't pay attention and are just talking off the top of their head.
I think, you know, when you ask the question, why are people questioning CrackDown 3? I think, you know, it's justified to a certain extent. You know what I mean? CrackDown 3 is going to be their big fall game. It's launching day and date with the console. At E3, they show more of Terry Crews than they did of the game. Let's be honest. Terry Crews was up there acting a fool, and they showed more Terry Crews than they did of the game. So then we wait a month later to get the 17 minutes of gameplay. I watched it. Like, it looks all right. But, like, you didn't show anything, you know, like the things you talked about the game being fun. Like, why not show some multiplayer? We know that the big selling point of the game is the destruction. They showed the free roam. They didn't show anybody in there, you know, playing with friends or anything like that. So,
right.
In my opinion, they're not showcasing the game correctly. You know what I mean? It's supposed to be this big online multiplayer game. We know the campaign will probably be decent, but most people are going to stick around for the multiplayer. That's what Xbox is great at, is the multiplayer. So why is that not being shown off? I understand Gamescom is a couple of weeks away, a month away, or whatever the case is, and that could be their big blowout session for it. But for this to be like the first portion of gameplay to come out, and it doesn't show anything, anything crazy or anything extreme. It just shows, some player running around. You see explosions and things going off like that. But like, to me, that didn't seem fun. You know what I mean? That didn't justify me running out and pre-ordering the game. So, I mean, I understand why people are concerned about it, because this is supposed to be a big fall game, and they're not treating it like it is.
Good point.
Like when Halo was coming out, how long did they run that campaign for Halo 5?
Yeah, but that's Halo.
A year and a half.
Exactly.
That's Halo. But that's Halo.
Exactly. What did they do with Gears?
I don't think, but here's the thing. I don't think, here's my thing though. In no instance have I ever seen Microsoft push Crackdown like it was Halo.
Yeah, but
I don't know what people.
I know they did. But remember, we had this conversation before about how Crackdown should be placed on that same pedestal.
Why? It was never that type of game.
It's a big open world game. It has potential.
But it was never on that level. See, this is my problem. Here's my problem, right? Crackdown 1 was an okay game. I don't even like Crackdown, honestly. Well, like,
get this man from the podcast.
I try. Hey, listen. First of all, I can't fire myself. Okay, so that's out of the question.
We'll do an executive order.
Second of all, here's the thing though. I tried playing the game. What annoyed me about Crackdown when I first started playing on 360 was that I hated getting the orbs. Like, I hated that. In order to level up, it made me have to traverse the game to get the orbs. I found it super tedious, jumping up and constantly climbing. It's almost Sunset Overdrive-ish, and I hate Sunset Overdrive. It's one of the only games that I dislike. You know why I don't like Sunset Overdrive? I said this before. Because
the exposure is real right now.
At the end of the day, I hate the fact they have you constantly moving to shoot. After a while, it's sickening. It makes me like, oh my God, I can't. It's just too much. But with Crackdown, that's why I didn't like it. Now, the way they have this Crackdown set up, it's much easier to do. You got a rocket pack on your back. You have a double jump and a thrust that pushes you forward, which is a lot easier than sitting up there trying to time a jump to jump across the building and try to get these orbs to level up your agility or your strength or whatever. So for me, getting a chance to play that at E3, I felt the game was really, really fun. My opinion on the game has always been, if you're a Crackdown 1 fan, you need to pick this game up because it's really, really good. It's basically like Crackdown 1. But if you're new to Crackdown, I don't know if it's worth the $60, just based on what I played in the free roam. However, I'm not going to sit here and bash the game and worry about the game. They showed the tech demo. They showed you 2 tech demos of what the game was about. They didn't show anything last year. They showed the campaign this year. They had people playing the game at E3, and they're waiting to go to Gamescom to show off the multiplayer. Why? Because this studio was in Europe. And that's just really what it is. And they want to show off this game to the European base. That's just something that they play on. I don't know why they do that. They play on. Crackdown isn't Forza. It's not. Crackdown isn't Sea of Thieves. There's a lot of money in Sea of Thieves. There's a reason why Sea of Thieves had to come to E3. It had to be there. The guys at Rare had to come. But Crackdown isn't that game. I think, honestly, more than anything, I think Crackdown is a game that is more of them trying to show off new tech. Kind of like they did when they first showed Crackdown the first time about the physics of the game and how crazy the physics in the first game was. And now you have this physics thing again in the second game in the multiplayer. So what I'm saying is, if Crackdown turns out to be a really fun game campaign-wise and in a blazing game multiplayer-wise, yeah, it has the potential to be the next big AAA title from Microsoft. But at the same time, I'm not going to sit up here and be like, oh, I'm concerned about the game when it isn't what the game has always been. I feel like people want this game to be something else. And it's not. It's exactly what Crackdown has always been. People just are looking for the destruction, and when it shows up, then it'll cry the crowd. But will that change their opinions just from the multiplayer? Just the multiplayer. Will that change their opinions?
No, because they started off at a bad note already. The multiplayer should have been shown at E3, bottom line.
Yep. Agreed. You see, you brought up something that I think is interesting, though, when it came to how they should treat Crackdown. Crackdown should not be treated like Halo and Gears. It should be treated like Forza. Not in terms
But
of
Forza is like Halo and Gears.
No.
Forza is on that
Forza
level.
is different. Forza is about being a graphical showcase. That is the big thing about that game. Look how good it is. Look at the simulation. Look at all that. Like, it's not so much saying like, okay, Crackdown needs a yearly release. I mean more along the lines of Crackdown needs to be their workhorse game. It says this is what's possible on this hardware. Look at the computational power. Look what's going on here. Like Dead Rising 3, and Dead Rising 3 was a good example. Like back at the beginning of the generation, it was like, look how many zombies are on screen. Look how crazy it is. And Crackdown needs to be the same kind of game, and they need to give it some respect.
I don't know, man. I just don't see Crackdown. Look, I think Forza may not sell like Halo or Gears. I get that. But it is the top tier race. It's the king of racers. Turn 10 is that company. You know what I'm saying? If Naughty Dog is the number one company for PlayStation and probably the best, because considered to be the top company in the industry, Turn 10 is definitely the top racing company or the top racing studio in the industry without question. Their production and the consistency that they've been doing it, including the side game in Horizon, has just been astronomical and been consistent and been consistently well. Even their worst game, Forza 5, still was loved by a lot of people. Now, Crackdown that level. This is the reason why I said you had Halo, Forza, and Gears. That was the big three. Then you had Fable, you had Crackdown, and I can't think off the top of my head what was the third game that they had that was like a B tier had. This is the reason why Fable got canceled. I think people put too much into Fable 2, as if Fable was on the level of a Halo, Gears, or Forza. It never was. It was never that big, RPG that Microsoft wanted it to be. It was great on the original Xbox. It was pretty good on the 360, but Fable 3 was trash. I hated Fable 3. Fable 2 was amazing.
Right.
Fable 2 was great. Fable 1, I didn't play it, but my understanding, it's the best one.
Right.
It is the best one.
Right.
But I didn't get a chance to play it. And that could be because Peter Molyneux, he overhyped the game, or he put too much into the game, and we get the game, it's disappointing. It could be all of that. But at the end of the day, it was never in that tier, in that quality like Halo, Gears, and Forza on 360 and now. So I just don't see Crackdown being that. It's cell shaded. There's a reason why it's cell shaded, so it can hit those computational numbers. There's not a lot. But you know what I don't like about Crackdown? I thought the cities would be more vibrant. Right, almost like Vice City at night. Remember Vice City on Grant and GTA Vice City, and how vibrant and bright the city was? Like it was Miami, so you had all these neon lights and stuff. That's what I wanted Crackdown to look like. And when I watched it, it had some of it, but it just didn't give me that pop. And I'm hoping we see more and it's more detail when we get closer and closer to Gamescom and they start showing us the multiplayer and stuff.
I believe Crackdown is gonna shock people, man. I think Microsoft is playing right into they're staying what's the word for it? Consistent. They're staying consistent on their approach this year. Their approach is to be quiet and let everybody hype something up, and then they're looking at everybody. They're seeing how everybody will go in this direction. They'll turn around and do the opposite. That's what's working right now. That's what's working, y'all. I wasn't expecting to see that multiplayer because I saw how Microsoft has been playing into this year. I saw it. I was like, they're not going to show that. And to be honest with you, I'm like Anchorman. I really was like, I don't want to see it. I want to be shocked this time because so much has been talked about this game. This game has been pushed back. So much has been talked about this game, and this game gets pushed back. I'm at the point where I'm just like, you know what? I'm done listening to articles. I'm tired of listening to everybody. Let's see what this game is going to be like when it drops. And I think that's how you should do Crackdown. It's not a Halo. It's not a Gears. It's not a Forza. It's not a Fable. Fable died on Fable 3. Correct, sir. It died third part. Nobody wanted to play that trash. Fable 1 was the best. Fable 2 sold its butt off, but Fable 3 was straight trash. So we can't even act like, we had a 4 and a 5 coming. It was going to be something hard. For me, Fable ought to go back to its roots. So just like Crackdown 1 was good. Crackdown 2, man. So Crackdown 3 is going back to its roots. You don't want to throw too much out there because people are gonna criticize it anyway. Microsoft knows this. So why would you throw your baby out there promoting all this technology? Anchorman's right. This is the game that should be showcasing the effects, the power, and the technology of the Xbox One X. I agree with them 100%. But then my question is, why do that? And then you get all these people to criticize it, and now you really got people throw it off in their head about the expectations, and it comes out and it's really not what everybody thought it was. Now it's just going downhill. If you just take bits and pieces, keep people guessing at it, they can find some positive things about it. Then it comes out and it's shocking everybody because we didn't see everything. Now it's like, hey man, I didn't even know that was in the game. That this was going to be in the game. All this cool stuff is in here. We didn't even know. And I think that's the safest way to do this, man. I really do.
And that's just a general rule of mine as well for this generation, really, because I don't want to see everything. Show me a 2-minute trailer. Like, I'll watch a gameplay trailer and I'll watch a cinematic trailer, and that's pretty much it.
Awesome.
I try not to watch much more than that.
Like movies, man. Why sit up here and show a 30-minute clip of a movie? That's the whole point, right?
I watched the first 12 minutes of Spider-Man 2. I don't want to watch the first 12 minutes. I would rather watch the movie.
Amen.
See, but the multiplayer shown didn't have to be like a 5-minute or 10-minute gameplay video. It could have been just a trailer. It could have been a multiplayer trailer, and that could have been it. That would have been enough at E3.
I won't fuss at that. I won't debate that. True. It could have been like that too. I agree with Brandon. It could have been like that too.
Because all people really want to see is just a building fall or a couple of buildings fall, and they're good to go. They just want to know that part of the game is still there. That's all.
Yep, he's right.
All right. So we'll see, man. So there are concerns about Crackdown 3. Microsoft needs to step it up so we can see some stuff. Listen, man. To the next subject, I am so hyped for this game. And I really hope that they show this on someone's stage next year. Cyberpunk 2077 from, I guess you could say, the acclaimed indie studios, CD Projekt Red. And yes, they are an indie studio. Very excited to get my hands on this game. The writer of in the Cop game was talking about some of his unconventional classes in the tabletop version of the game, like a journalist, a rock star, an executive, and other classes. And he was asked if those classes would be in the game. And he said positively be in the game. He goes on and he says, yes, you can. They're all going to be there, but I can tell you, you're going to find some surprises about how we've done it. And I think you're really going to like it. There's a lot of subtle going on there. Adam, something in some type of crazy language, CD Projekt Red's president and co-CEO, and I spent literally like a whole week messing with ways of implementing that so you get the most feel for your character. On top of that, the other classes that they include are Cop, Fixer, Media, Netrunner, Nomad, Rocker Boy, Solo, Techie, and MedTech. I'm just looking at these classes, man, and saying to myself, I have no idea what this game is going to be. I'm sitting here trying to figure out what are these classes and these roles in the game, and how do they help you in the game? I mean, if you're going to be somebody that's going to be action orientated with a gun, you'll probably go for the Cop or the Fixer or the Netrunner or something like that, or the Nomad. Nomad sounds like something I would pick. other things that probably have a more significant role, like corporate, which is probably dealing with money and funneling money. You have the media, which probably gives you access and information. Man, I'm just excited to get my hands on this game, and I really need to know more. I feel like I'm starving for information on Cyberpunk 2077, and they're just leaking this stuff out, and it's not good enough for me. It isn't good enough for me at this point, and I'm getting kind of frustrated. But they hear the amount of classes they're going to have in the game and the amount of roles that you'll get to play in the game is exciting in itself. So, what is your guys' thoughts on this, man? Like, what do you think Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be?
A video game.
Can we fire? I'm just asking.
I mean, again, this is one of those things, man. I just want to be surprised because like it's just CD Projekt Red has that level of skill and ability where I don't want to know everything that's going on. I mean, I do. I want to know, but I'd rather be surprised. It's one of those things.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
For me, it's just one of those things where if I put so much focus on learning every little thing about this one game even before we have a release date, I'm going to get burned down on it. I don't want to get burned down on this because this is something I am extremely interested in and I want to see it. I want to play it so bad, but I want to do it when they're ready. Like they had talked about their marketing strategy for Cyberpunk 2077 is they want to go with that Fallout 4 route. They want it to be a surprise. They want it to be on their terms. It gets announced when they want to. It's whenever on their time, and let them have that ability. I don't want to be destroyed by that. I want to see what they have to show.
Okay.
I've been saying for a long time, like even before The Witcher 3 came out, that the Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be like one of the greatest games of all time once it releases. Just from everything that they've talked about before the game came out, they've had a long time and like some early development stuff that they put videos out about, and the creator and some of the writers have been talking about this game for a long time. I knew The Witcher 3 was going to be amazing. One game of the year when it released, and I think that this game is going to destroy everything that comes out in that same year. I'm super excited for this game. I think it's going to be something that we've never seen before. I know it's going to have a massive open world, almost like an MMO feel as far as like the multiplayer is concerned. There'll be a lot of characters will be able to interact with each other. So I'm super excited. Just want more information to come out. But like Inker said, I kind of just put it on the shelf and I'm just waiting for them, to make the big announcements. Because when it's ready, I'm gonna have to gear up and get ready to play it, man. Because I think that's, like I said, it's gonna destroy everything that year that it comes out.
The author, just to real quick, the creator of the tabletop top version of the game, he goes on and says the vision is really pretty close to what I had in my head years ago. When they did the CGI trailer, I looked at it and said, oh my God, that's like perfect. And there were all these little touches from Cyberpunk in the background because they're fans. I said to me, they really did it. That's awesome. So the feeling has stayed the same, and we've also been continually developing it to keep that feeling. And that's great. I think what's really awesome about that is when you're able to, you have a writer or you have a creator or something, and the developer produces a product that is basically coincides with your vision, and the feeling of what you created is coming to life, you have something special. I think you have something special. And like B said, this might be one of the greatest games of all time. I don't want to put it on that just yet because the game still has to release. We still have to play it. We still have to see if this is the type of game that we all expect. But this conversation says a lot, and we know the type of caliber that CD Projekt Red is as a studio. Darian, what is your thoughts on that?
Man, I'm with B. I mean, just listen to what he had to say, man. It just seems like this game is going to be epic. I guess I underrated it, man. But he's right. I mean, when The Witcher 3 came out, he nailed it, man. It was ahead of everything. It made it was the apex, and what it do is set the bar. That's what I wanted to say. That game set the bar
Right.
for open world action RPG, and it seemed like right after that, Shadow of Mordor came out. Well, Shadow Mordor no,
year before. Shadow
yeah,
of Mordor was year before.
year before. That's right. And then The Witcher came out. It jumped right when you thought Shadow of Mordor was just excellent. The Witcher came out and it just blew everything away. It set the bar, and it was like anybody who makes another action open world RPG needs to be at least up to this par, or we're not even looking at it. So it was just, I mean, what have we had out since then? Hey, what are they talking about now? Enhancing it for the X. I mean, this game is awesome. That game was awesome. So imagine what this one's gonna be like.
And just the storytelling that they did in The Witcher 3, especially with the 2 expansions, and just some of the smaller stories that they had in the main game. Like, if they could bring that type of storytelling to Cyberpunk 2077, the game is going to be amazing, man. It's going to be above anything that could come out.
Man.
Well, it's definitely. I'm really interested in it. I don't know what a nomad is, but I want to be one already. That's all I know.
I honestly don't know what class to pick. I really don't. Like, I genuinely don't know.
Be media or something like that. That's what you should be, because you seem to have your nose in everything. That'll probably be a really good fit. So there was some conversations that had went down today about Microsoft. Actually, before I jump into that, let me talk about the new big thing and the new big announcement that we have set up before I get
holding on to this for a while. He couldn't wait.
Yeah, no. I didn't want to wait to the end. I want to get it out. So, Tick Network has been basically trying to do our thing, expand, make sure we have enough content and podcasts to reach everybody from PlayStation to Xbox to people interested in comics and TV and people who want that back and forth between PlayStation and Xbox fans with our debate show with Double XP. And in that regard, we wanted to do something in the social space we weren't able to do because the team was so caught up in so much stuff between the website, between us doing podcasts, between us trying to build this brand into a small business. It's a lot to handle. And in that process, we were able to reach out and find a great group of people led by a great person. And we have now taken this group under our umbrella. So my man Dorian is now officially a part of the Tick Network team. He is going to be our social communication and streaming entertainment. He will be running our new hardcore Xbox group called the DX Mansion. So if you're on Facebook, if you're a part of the DX Mansion on Facebook, which stands for the Direct X Mansion, it's a play on X-Men, and you're a DX man, make sure you go ahead and join up over there. That group is now under the Tick umbrella, is officially a part of the Tick family. And what we'll be doing there is something special. We're going to be running exclusive leagues in there. We'll be doing exclusive rewards. We will have banners, shirts, gear, all types of stuff for the most hardcore Xbox guys out there. If you feel like you're really nice at Madden, come on, join our league. If you feel like you're really good at 2K, Forza, Gears, Halo, we're going to be holding a lot of events and a lot of things coming up starting in August. And we're going to have a lot of rewards to be given out to the fans. And we'll have special images for you guys, profile pics, banners, and things like that to let people know you've won, you're a champion, you're a part of the gold team, and really separating the cream from the crop. And that's what we want to do. So if you're a DX man, we would greatly appreciate if you guys came on over. Just look, Dorian, what is the group called? So people can find it.
Specifically, it's co-created between me, Dorian Bumpers, and my man Israel Rules, and it's the World of Xbox presents the X-Men of the DX Mansion. It's kind of a split of both of our visions. The World of Xbox was, and Windows 10 was like his thing, and I came up with the X-Men of the DX Mansion. So when you look it up, if it doesn't come up under the DX-Men of the DX Mansion, type in World of Xbox Presents, and that should be enough to where it should carry it all the way through, y'all. But
and that's pretty awesome.
I'm very humbled and excited to know that you guys took the time out to even consider us, man. We're not big time like you guys, but we kind of had the same similar vision, and I wanted to add my special touches to it as a gamer, and I wanted to. I saw that, and this is my opinion. I just think that the industry is flooded with too much casual. And what I mean by that, there's nothing wrong with casual games. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, I don't think that the hardcore gamers gets represented as much. They're the ones that really push this stuff, man. They're the ones that are in the esports. They're the ones that are in these local tournaments. They're the ones that go out here and get these day one games. They're the ones out here in these streets doing these YouTubes first. And I think that, man, they need to be represented on a much level of appreciation, because without these guys, man, what is E3 and all these events surrounded around? Those hardcore fans, man, they're the ones buying those tickets, flying out there, putting them seats in to give us a good cheer and a good push forward, and then immediately going on. They're workers, man. They're hard workers, and I can appreciate that.
Right. So look, it's a great group of guys in there, man. If you're just looking for straight hardcore Xbox content, have Xbox conversations, you just want to find people to play with on Xbox, none of this, check this out or check that out and everything like that. We want to try to take an approach where, we always try to bring in all gamers. But for Tick Podcast as an Xbox group, as an Xbox podcast, for the fans out there that really support us, that love Xbox and really come to our content because we bring content to you in a positive way for Xbox, we want to do something special for you guys. And we want to try to build this group specifically for the hardcore guys that support Tick Podcast and support the Xbox community. So listen, man, like I said, we got a ton of stuff coming up. We're going to have a Madden League coming up in August. With a reward for the champion. We will have some 2K leagues. We'll be doing some Forza leagues for Forza 7, some tourneys and stuff like that. We'll have a Gears tournament. We'll have a Killer Instinct tournament. If you think you're nice, man, hop on in. You can win, man. And, some of the cool things that we plan to do is, for example, being that it's like the X-Men, we're making a play on the X-Men. So if you win, you become a part of the gold team. You're a part of the elite. And we want you to represent that in that group. People will know you're a part of the Go team. And people will ask, how do I become a part of the Go team? You got to win. You got to move up, baby. And that's what it's all about, man. It's about being competitive. It's about having fun, meeting people, but 100% keeping it Xbox 24/7, 365. So make sure you guys go ahead and join that group, man, if you're interested. And it happened. So let's move on. Microsoft has been pushing True 4K for a very long time, something I never liked. I never liked them pushing this True 4K thing because I always felt like it would bite them in the butt. And here's the crazy thing about it was the wording. And the wording in that aspect was that it was True 4K, not native 4K, because they knew that they were going to leave the resolution up to the developers and that some developers weren't going to shoot for native 4K. They would instead probably take some power to put towards their game to make it look better, or make it run better. But at the same time, some games aren't hitting 60 frames per second that most gamers want. Most hardcore gamers, especially PC gamers that game on consoles, want 60 frames per second. Now, for me, I'm not saying 60 frames per second isn't the crown jewel console gaming right now. That's not what I'm saying. But listen, I've been playing games at 30 frames per second for a long time. Okay, and it's not going to stop me from playing games at 30 frames per second now. It doesn't make a game bad or worse. You can still get a crappy game at 4K 60. It doesn't matter as long as the quality of the game is good. Now, a game that's great and has 60 frames per second is amazing, especially racers, especially first-person shooters, third-person shooters. Those are great. But big games, open-world games like that, I don't really sweat it too much. So Microsoft, being that they have this thing where they're talking about certain games when you pick up when you get a game now, you will see 3 things on the box. It will either say 4K, 4K HDR, or 4K HDR Xbox Enhanced. And I want to focus on the enhanced part. And that's a big deal because what they say the enhanced part means is that a game may not be native 4K, but it will have 4K assets. It will have bonus particle effects. It will have bonus lighting. It may be dynamic. There will be certain things in that game that the power of the Xbox One X will enhance to make this game the definitive edition of its counterparts on any other platform, minus PC, of course. PC being a crown jewel, but I'm just saying between the 3 consoles. So, what do you guys think about this? Microsoft now allowing developers the free will to put what they want to put into a game, and when you pick up the game, you can actually see what it is. If it's 4K, if it has HDR, if it doesn't have HDR, if it's enhanced, or if it isn't enhanced. How do you think that is important to gamers? Because I know a lot of people who may play on a PS4 Pro, it might not feel like they're getting the enhancement that they felt they paid for with the PS4 Pro. And some people say, I'm not getting a Pro, I'm just going to stick with PS4 because these games basically look the same. Not knocking games like Horizon Zero Dawn, which is just beautiful on a Pro, absolutely stunning. But there are some other titles that just didn't get that enhancement. Microsoft is now saying, when you pick up a game, you'll know what you're getting with the game. How important that is to gamers, and how important is that for the Xbox One X?
That's the Xbox One X purpose, is to give us something that we've never had before in the Xbox brand. I mean, what else is there to sell? I mean, they're selling power, selling image quality, they're selling texture. So we want to see that stuff. I mean, we're paying over $400 for this premium, the hardcore true Xbox fans. So why not have these these new qualities that we've never seen before? I mean, if it's developers that feel like they're the ones making this game, and if they feel like the game is not totally all about resolution, which we all know that, you know, we're mature gamers. We all know that resolution is not what makes the game better. So these developers up in there, they're doing the best. They're doing their job by creating a vision within themselves. And if they decide that, hey, we want to use this raw power or let's say special lighting or special part, more HDR features to it, then that's what they're going to do about that. Because we're gamers. We understand that, hey, this is what they wanted to do their game. This is how they made their game. But I want to specifically say that I don't want to see Microsoft advertised to be compromised. Keep that beaming at that 4K, close to that 4K, however you got to do it. Make sure that's there because that's your selling point. Make sure your frame rate 60. The 60 doesn't guarantee victory on all games. The game
Anchor.
that we know,
your mic. I mean, your controller.
Oh.
Go ahead, D.
Make it 60. And like you said, you know, those open worlds, you know, games like we know, if we do happen, if they shock us with a 60 for that, let it be a 60 for that. But you know, we understand that if it's gonna hit at 30, lock it in and make it a good game. That I think we as Xbox fans, we know better than to fall into little childish little views on you know, the resolution stuff. I think we pretty much killed that. I think that's the reason why the X is made anyway. It's killing all that.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's a cool idea for them to add that to packaging. I mean, for me, I'm going to be looking for the games that actually show the HDR advantage. So I think that's, you know, one of the biggest improvements. And then, you know, if they have, you know, 4K assets and things like that, of course, you know, that is welcome. But I think, you know, just having an option there and showing what the improvements are of the game, I think that's very important. Because like you said, when you look at the PlayStation Pro, you know, you don't really know what you're getting. You know, some games offer, you know, an upscale Some games offer HDR, but they really don't label that on their packaging. So, you know, you can get a game home and not really know what you're getting unless you do a little deep diving. So I think if, once you put that on a package, you kind of make the gamer aware of what they're getting into. And maybe, if a game doesn't provide HDR or, have whatever it is that they were looking for, then maybe, they'll take a look at something else. But I think that's consumer friendly, you know what I mean? And it's all about the consumer at the end of the day.
Right. Anchor.
Yeah, I think this is the result of Microsoft learning from past mistakes, namely the Kinect more than anything else. Now, I say that namely in terms of Microsoft realized that if you make a mandate for people to use whatever you have, people don't want to do it. And they'll put in half-ass work. However, if you put it on the developers, say, hey, this is available for you to use, and you don't enforce it, and you just kind of keep it like, do it if you want, then they still won't use it. I mean, look at the Kinect. I mean, most people ignore the Kinect. Like, yeah, like the one time Battlefield 4 did it a little bit, at least of this generation, but that was kind of it. There were a couple of games that tried, but again, it's only a handful of games for a once mandatory piece of hardware. Now going forward though, I think they learned something in particular how backwards compatibility was handled. Where when backwards compatibility got announced, they stated it's up to the publisher to determine if they're going to allow this game. And what that did was that completely shifted the argument from Microsoft isn't putting my favorite game on here to greedy Activision or greedy Bethesda or greedy somebody else is not putting my game on backwards compatibility. Excellent. It shifted the blame away from Microsoft to the publisher to make them do the action to make them look good. And backwards compatibility definitely helped them in sales too. I mean, Black Ops 2 charted the MPDs like 5 years later. Right. just think about that. So looking at that way, and I think with this one, kind of coming full circle back to the 4K thing. What Microsoft's doing here is they've been very upfront with the developer can decide what they want to do with this extra power. But we're advertising what you're doing too. You don't get to ride the free 4K wave. If people want 4K 60, you can do 4K 60 and hey, we'll put up a little thing on the box saying, hey, this is what you're getting. 4K 60 game. People like that. But if you don't, you're getting the little hand sticker. It just looks a little better.
Right. Listen, man, I agree. I agree with everything you said. I think about the Kinect era, and I was a big fan of Kinect, not as far as game is concerned. I don't know how many battles I've had with, I forget his name, but there's a guy on Twitter who dead loves Kinect and feels that Kinect is the reason why Xbox hasn't sold as many consoles as it should have, which is just hard for me to convince him that what he is talking about is wrong. But at the end of the day, man, the cool thing about it is that, like you said, once they took Kinect out and it wasn't mandatory a part of the system anymore, that thing was dead. Like, people stopped trying to make in games enhance with Kinect and use audio and voice commands and stuff like that. Like, a lot of that stuff disappeared. A lot of developers stopped trying to use it and implement it into games. It really faded off pretty freaking quickly. And then you turn around and the Slim doesn't even come with a Kinect port. Like, you literally have to order, or early on when you got the Slim, they would give you a free adapter that you can plug in via USB. And the Xbox One X doesn't come with a Kinect port either. So yeah, Kinect is done at this point. And I think this is one of the reasons why, and I'm really off subject at this point, but I think that's one of the reasons why they've been holding off for VR, because they want to try to build a wireless connectless VR. You know what I'm saying? Because it's supposed to have everything built in itself, which reads your environment and reads you just through the helmet without the Kinect. This is what they're trying to go for. But again, it puts it on a developer and not on Microsoft. It doesn't put Microsoft in a position to make devs and force them to make something they want. They don't want to. So say, for example, a game like Star Wars Battlefront, they come out with it at 4K 60. It's native 4K 60 frames per second. But there was something in the game that is now missing to probably hit that mark. And when Digital Foundry does its comparisons, which they will do comparisons, you'll wind up seeing it on the PS4 Pro and not on the Xbox. And then people will say, why isn't it on the Xbox? And for whatever reason, they'll probably say because we wanted to hit native 4K or we wanted to hit 60 locked or whatever it was. So, yeah, I think Microsoft giving the developers the opportunity to make decisions on what they want to do with their games, that's important. What Microsoft plans to do with their games is try to make all their games 4K native and try to hit 60 frames per second. I think people say that Microsoft said that this was what they were going to do. And trust me, I would agree with you if it was true, but it's not. We had the interview with Albert Pernillo on this show, and I remember talking with him about it. And one of the key factors about that, when I spoke with him, was, you guys said at E3 you want to do 4K, 60 frames per second uncompromised. And the one key word he said, and I know, and I'm sure everybody in here remembers.
I remember.
The one key word he said was yes, at today's fidelity.
At current graphical fidelity.
And that is the one word that no one remembers. That is the one word nobody remembers. It was key in that statement that it was at today's graphical fidelity. And today's graphical fidelity is all the games that we will be playing that will be, either get those 4K patches or those 60 frame per second patches if it's possible and things like that. So, listen, man, I just think that see what happens in the future. This console is still being worked on. It is not done. The dev kits aren't done. They're still in process. Like I said, I literally had a one-on-one conversation with Dan Greenwald, just me and him. And literally he told me word for word, we have Forza 7 running right now, and you think it looks amazing? We still have 30% GPU left to use. And I'm sitting here saying to myself, what are you going to put that into? Because the game already looks stunning when you see it in person. And adding another 30% or maybe 20% or whatever they can get out of the GPU onto what's already there. That game's not done. It's only going to look better when it drops, which is insane to me. So, listen, it really just comes down to what devs are trying to do with their games. Hopefully we are able to see some of the enhancements, and they're significant. These 4K assets that everyone is talking about, and that's really where the true 4K comes in, because the game may not be 4K native, but it's supposed to have 4K assets. And I think a lot of people have to remember too, please get bigger hard drives. Already 100 something gigs, like over 800 gigs already.
So Halo 5 is the same thing.
No. You don't understand. Halo 5 is like 100 gigs.
It is 100
Forza
gigs.
7. Right, but this is what I'm trying to tell you. Forza 7 is probably going to be like 70 gigs with an additional 100 gigs for 4K assets for the cars. It's like 170 gigs. It's insane. And this is what you can expect going forward with games that are enhanced or games that have 4K assets. If you think your games are going to be like they were on 360 game size wise, memory wise, they're not. These 4K assets are huge. They're going to take up a lot of memory. So you really need to go out and pick up a new hard drive or a bigger hard drive, or start making room, start deleting, because you're going to need a lot of space, man, a lot of space. So before we head out, is there anything else you guys want to chat about?
I want to take a moment to refer to some of the little features that did come out today on with Xbox. So we talked about one thing, like with the mixer, but custom gamer picks. I'm gonna go on record. I have been saying custom gamer picks for about 4 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has told me that I'm crazy. It wasn't gonna happen. No, Microsoft's gotta have somebody to police that. It's not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. Over and over and over again, being told constantly, no, custom gamer picks are not happening on Xbox. Look who's right again.
I know is the first time I see a penis pic, I'm out. That's all I know, son. I remember playing spades on 360 back in the day, and people used to have the camera on, and they just stand there with the camera shot at their groin with their penis hanging out, like, bruh, come on, man.
Spades
you know
and
what I mean?
Uno, man. That's where it was used to
be.
be.
Spades and Uno, dog. Like, come on, man. These mad ladies in there. These dudes out here just going all out. Like,
why are you mad at taking? Why are you mad at taking advantage of Connect?
Nah. It's just I can see it now. Man. It's gonna be crazy.
Connect, man.
Long live Connect. Yeah, Connect is done. It's gonna be crazy. So listen, man, we're gonna go ahead and end the show. It's very late. We're not gonna do any questions tonight. I want to thank everybody for stopping out and supporting Tick Podcast and the show. Make sure you guys give us a thumbs up. Share us out to your friends and your groups. We greatly appreciate the support. Trying to grow this channel so that way we can have a great gaming site that doesn't do all the nonsense and BS and controversy out there, man. Shout out to TXR. They're no longer with us, but guys are expanding out to new things, so you'll be able to catch them on new shows. And shout out to my man BG and the Weapon Will crew, man. It's unfortunate things that's happening over there with those guys, but hopefully they can mend that and get back on their A game and stuff like that, man. Listen, I'm an all around good person. I don't care about none of the nonsense, the politics of this game and stuff. I care about people, and I care about good quality content out there. And it's sad to lose these shows or see these shows start to fall apart or beefing with each other over the smallest things. So hopefully these guys can get things together and everything can be good. Make sure you go ahead and join our Facebook group, the DX Men, or the DX Mansion, shall I say. And make sure you look for that, man. Awesome group. Like I said, listen, we got a ton of stuff happening in that group. It's going to be crazy. A lot of giveaways going to be happening in that group. A lot of tournaments, a lot of leagues going on exclusively in that group. That's what we're going to be doing going forward, man. We're really trying to concentrate on the hardcore Xbox guys and the hardcore Xbox base. So if you definitely want to be a part of that, win some stuff, meet some people, have fun, be on Mixer, be in our leagues, go ahead and join that group, man. And we'll definitely get you into those things when those things begin. So listen, that's it for our show. We will be back next week, Thursday at 11 p.m. Of course, you can catch Multiverse on Mondays. And the Multiverse, you guys got an interview coming up?
We do. We're actually getting the interview with Ian from Giant Sparrow, the guys who made Unfinished Swan, which I got to play over the weekend, and just done What Remains of Edith Finch, which was been recently announced to be coming to Xbox next week. I think it'll be 2 days actually after the show. So be on the lookout for that. It'll be a really cool little interview. And it'll be live at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on the Multiverse Show, episode 61.
Hey, guys. Right. It's only right. I want to do a shout out to you guys, man, as a fan. Thank you guys, and it's only right. A big night for me, man. I'm still on cloud nine, and it's a big night. Personally, from my group of guys out there, I hear Cork and you guys showing much love, and I want to let them know from my voice too, man, that I couldn't be here without these guys, man. Without these guys, Israel, Chris Rebot, Tashawn, Ricardo, Vernon Washington, who had his baby, man. I believe this week or last week, man. We're thinking about you, man, and your family. Stephen, Sean, Frederick, Andre, Mosley, man. You know what you've done for me. And I just want to say, man, to all the guys out there, and the girls out there that made that DX Mansion a very special place. I told you guys, man, we had something special. We held down to our roots, man, and it's paying off. So go out here and keep supporting Tick, man, because if you don't see nothing else, you see that these guys are great guys. And if you take the time to get to know these guys and just and settle in with them, you can do some big things, man, because these are the only guys that you're going to get that top-notch quality Xbox news. You're going to get that top-notch quality Xbox interviews. You're not getting them nowhere else. These guys are putting it down. They're working hard, and they don't have time to play games. So if you want that positive energy, man, Tick Podcast is where to be, and I appreciate you guys, man.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. We appreciate that without question, man.
Yeah.
Listen, man, like I said, we're all passionate gamers. We're all passionate Xbox gamers, man. We just want to do things for the Xbox community that nobody else does. That's just what it's all about. You know, it's all about gaming. Why does it have to be about beefing or PlayStation versus Xbox? Why don't we just game Xbox gamers, man? That's what it's about. So let's do that. Anyway, I don't want to get sentimental, anything like that. But, man, that was an awesome shout out. And then thank you, Dorian, for coming on the show. And I'm excited to get this thing rolling. So, again, Trophy Life on Tuesdays, the PlayStation show. Make sure you guys go out, support that if you are into PlayStation, if you have a PS4. Nicodemus and that team is out here working hard, man. They're getting interviews. They're talking about some really quality PlayStation stuff. You want to know things about PlayStation without the nonsense, without the BS, without the fanboy banter. Listen, that is the show to check out. Trophy Life Podcast, man. Those guys, genuine PlayStation and Xbox gamers, but they prefer PlayStation, man. That is the show to hit up. And, of course, you got me, Super Pod Shots, on Wednesdays nights. You know, I'm just going to give it to you, give you the buzz in the industry, give you my straight opinion on things, and, of course, take podcasts on Thursday. So, again, once again, I want to thank everybody for stopping out. Make sure you give us a thumbs up, and we will see you guys next week. You guys have a great night. I'm your host, KLRXKLL, with B Money 101, Anchorman V, and the legal felon, Mr. Dorian, from the DX Mansion. Shout out to all the DX men. We out of here. Peace.